How intimate are you with your audience? We're about to find out. Hi, my name is Yogev Almog from Wellspring Media. I'm here at Digital Marketer today to talk about the intimacy funnel. Now, what is the intimacy funnel? Well, it's the key to mastering communication and captivating copywriting, all right? In life, there are varying degrees of communication and connection that are required to approach an audience, to approach people in various different ways. So, we're gonna start building this out right now. All right, so as you see, it is most literally a funnel going from top down. We have distant at the top, adjacent in the middle, proximal underneath that, and personal at the bottom. So next thing we'll be talking about is the linguistic and tonal adjustments for copy, all right? Now, at the top, when we're talking about distant copy, it's respectful and inviting. So let me give you an example. My business partner, John, I can walk into his home, open up the fridge, grab a Topo Chico or a Diet Pepsi or whatever I want, go onto the couch, start watching a Marvel movie, and flip up my legs. That's just the relationship we have. I can't go into your home and do that though, can I? Right? That's weird. So this is why we have this whole entire funnel here. It's to gauge the level of connection that you have with a person at any given point. This obviously works in real life, but this is fantastic for copy because this is adjusting to how we're going to be speaking to them. So respectful and inviting, we're writing copy at the level to mostly like cold traffic, okay? It's good for ads, it's good for paid traffic, low ticket offers, people who know that they have a problem and they're hot for a solution, but the focus is mostly on your benefits and your smaller problems, all right? Now, when we're going into adjacent, we're talking primarily about an authoritative and helpful tone, all right? These people, they know you, but they don't like know you, right? They're not getting there with you just yet. They might have seen you on social media, but they probably don't follow you. They follow someone who posts you a little bit every so often. This copy is written in adjacency. It's good for your mid-tier pricing, for organic search traffic, for new prospects, affiliate traffic, borrowing credibility, right? So you're on someone else's list and maybe you send an email and you have an affiliate deal with them, so they send traffic your way. That is the type of copy that you want when you're doing that. There is going to be a lot of demonstrating value. There's going to be a lot of credibility. There's going to be a lot of storytelling, right? That's where we're sitting in the funnel here. Now, when we're talking about proximal right here is mostly friendly and familiar. So I've been following you for a little while and maybe I've liked a handful of your posts. It's great for your warm leads. So someone who has bought something small or has been considering buying something from you, they're the long-term subscribers. They like your social media posts. It's authoritative and expertise is implied, right? So the focus is mostly on the problem, reframing your pain. It's a lot of social proof, again, a lot more storytelling, and it's really good for your courses and some high ticket offers. So anything in that range from $50 to $2,000. That's really what we're sitting with proximal. Now, our last, personal, the deepest level of connection with people, it's close and earnest. So this is best for your new offers, okay? This is for the people who are like raving fans. They have like a level of trust in you that is unlike anyone else in the funnel. They see that new offer, they're immediately buying it because they know your value, they know how good you are. Maybe you're giving a little bit of story right here, but it's mostly for people who are they want to buy because they love you. It's great for the no-brainer low ticket offers, and it's great for that high ticket, I've been waiting for this thing, I've been begging for you to do this thing for me for a while. Next thing we're going to be talking about is actually blending the application into copy, all right? So these can all be different pages, right? These can all be different sales pages. These can all be different types of posts. But the beauty of the intimacy funnel is being able to blend it into a singular page, right? So it can be your landing page, it can be your sales page, it can be your website, all of those things this applies for. So what we're really talking about here when we're talking distant is your third person language, right? So that's the general they. They language in copy, it's establishing outside influence on a problem. So it's primarily talking about a problem outside of you and me, okay? And by that, I mean, we're talking about the industry, or they don't want you to be doing X, Y, and Z, right? Like, all the top marketers don't want you to know this one secret marketing hack called the intimacy funnel. You see what I'm saying? So when we're doing that, that's typically at the top of the page, okay? Right underneath it, second person language, all right? That's you language, speaking directly to the person. Most of your copy should be written in this way because it's directed towards you. I'm writing these pages for you. So that's primarily where it's gonna sit mostly in the middle, mostly towards the middle and the bottom. Proximal is going to be first person language, so I language. We don't wanna get too into I language, but it's great for when you're telling stories, and it builds credibility, builds rapport. It gives us that sort of connection. It lets you into my world, lets you understand me a little bit better, so you can see a bit of yourself in me. Last, it is first person inclusive, all right? That's we language. That's the royal we, all right? So that's used at the end, after rapport has been built, after it's been established, after you feel understood, after I've given you some sort of point that makes us feel the same. That's typically happening after the story. So if you start to see a little bit of yourself in me, I can start shifting that into we language because now we're the same, right? There's a word for this, consanguinity, all right? It means of the same blood. Not used commonly right now, but it's a nice little Latin term that we've used, and it's very big in writing, more for those, scholarly people. But regardless, it's that I am you, you are me, we are the same, and doing that, I can now pace you and future pace your experience, because if we're the same and I've had the same experience as you, that means you can start having the same experience that I have once the problem is fixed. When we're talking about this whole entire blending the application of captivating copy, blending the application of the intimacy funnel, we're talking different narratives as we're coming down, all right? So we can't say we entirely too high up, right? Because we haven't established that credibility together. And that's really, really difficult to do, especially when you're writing to a distant, adjacent, or proximal audience. We can say we when we're writing a personal page, but to be honest, a personal page is typically a little shorter. It's to those long-time subscribers. You don't have to do nearly as much work, right? We have to backtrack a little bit, because again, I can't walk into your home and then put my feet up on your couch. That's rude, all right? That's the same connection point right there, all right? Lastly, we are going to talk about applying the intimacy funnel into the audience awareness of you and your business, all right? So at the top, we're going to talk about branding, all right? So branding is just the broad idea of who you are, what you do. It's association of your images, the colors that you pick, the feel that you want to give people. That's just the overall outside impression of you, all right? We're going to adjacency. We're talking about your marketing, all right? That's the deeper, more granular stuff, right? It's greater exposure. You understand who I am, what I do, where I sit in the industry, and the association is with the problems I solve, the services I offer, okay? That's really, really important, because you're really talking about the problem. It's less about me. It's more about the general situation that we're in, that I'm solving and that you're in currently right now. Now, sales, a little more proximal, okay? So they understand and they appreciate how you can help them. And what separates from you and your contemporaries, the people that you're competing with. What makes me different? What value I bring other than just the offer, okay? It's the energy that I bring into the offer, because realistically, there's nothing new under the sun, all right? There are so many offers out there that are really, they're the same. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just understanding that we get to a point in the sales process and into the funnel that we have to make us different than everyone else. And the way we do that is, again, our emotion, our content pieces, our success stories. It's the context of how we say things and who we are. Now, the last thing, personal, that's mostly what we're talking about are services. So they understand your story, they understand your unique selling position, how you can help them, direct association with you as an individual, and just the content between you and I, right? It's the connection and the content between you and I. So with that, we're mostly, it's really just how you and I are interacting with each other. Beyond the sales, beyond the marketing, it's when we're already one-to-one. It's really, really important that we get the distinction there, because that is going to keep people around, right? The sales is going to get them to see how you're different and what you offer differently. But when we're getting into this proximal level, this proximal into personal, it's really important that we're retaining them. We're making sure they stick around for the long haul, because you're not just helping problems A, B, and C. You're trying to get them all the way to X, Y, and Z. While we're doing this, like across the board, we're unifying the brand voice. That's why we have to connect all of these things together. So your website is probably going to be very, it's going to be very branding focused. It's going to be a lot more distant. And the more you go down, the more they come into your world when they get into marketing and they're seeing the type of content that you're putting out. And then they start to get into the sales process with you, and they're about to buy something, and they see how different your product is. And then when they get into personal and they're seeing how different you are, how different the service that they had just bought is, blending that all together is going to make a wild difference in how people experience your business and how they experience you. And if we can figure out how to very seamlessly do that with the intimacy funnel as our bit of a checklist, that's going to turn new buyers, people who are just buying one-offs, to lifelong fans who are going to give fantastic testimonials and who are going to give fantastic reviews of you and going to suggest everyone come to you. Again, it's all about the community, and what we're doing with the intimacy funnel is fostering a deep community with our audience, because that's really how we start to build these larger and larger businesses. We can't always be relying on being at the top at distant, because again, that's where your ads are going to be. And if you're consistently relying on ads as your source of new people, and you're not fostering the people at the bottom, you're just going to have so much turnover, and it costs so much more money to continue bringing in more people than it does to love on the people who have already bought from you and are saying that your stuff is amazing. So make sure that you're bringing the whole entire thing into the picture. You're bringing the whole entire funnel into your business. It'll make your job a million times easier, and it'll make selling your products that much easier. All right, that is all from me. My name is Yogev Almog from Wellspring Media. You can find us at wearewellspringmedia.com. You can also head over to digitalmarketer.com, check out the copywriting certification, check out the blogs out there. And yeah, I'll see you guys another time.